welcome to At Home with Sky F1, and today it's my turn to introduce my 4 favourite clips from everything I've done over the last 8 years. 8 years, I can't believe it's gone so fast. So today I'm going to bring you how I learnt to race, and this was back in 2016, and I decided I wanted to take part in a race weekend to learn all sorts of things, not just about driving, but about the pressures and about the different moments and how you feel at certain times of the weekend and the mistakes you can make, because I made a lot of mistakes, and how to drive in the wet because it seemed to rain every time I got in a car. So that's coming up. I'm also going to show you one of my favourite city guides of the past 8 years, and it was back in 2014 I filmed this in Singapore, and we went to some amazing places. We got some fabulous access, and I really enjoyed it, and it still stands out in my memory today. My third piece is when I went to Mexico with Sergio Perez and his family and got to see him at home. You don't get to do this very often, and I really enjoyed it. I'll tell you how it all came about, and also a bit more about what went on the day we did film down there. And finally, my last piece is probably one of my favourite Formula Radio episodes. I think you can guess which one. It was in Hungary last year we filmed it, and it was Charles Leclerc against Sebastian Vettel. It brought the paddock to a standstill. It caused absolute chaos, but we laughed an awful lot. So that's coming up too. First though, it's how I learnt to race, if you like, I guess, but it's probably the best way to put it. I've been around motorsport all my life. My dad was an endurance racer before I was born. Then when I was growing up, my brother started entering various racing series, and then finally ended up in the Radical SR1 Cup, which he won one year, and I'd followed around. I'd gone to as many races as I could because I was working in Formula 1 by then, and I'd been in various paddocks at Snetterton, Alton Park, Cadwell, Thruxton, Brands Hatch, you name it. And then my other brother decided to also join the series and race in it, and I kind of thought, well, I'd like to have a go. So luckily I got the chance. And it was a long journey, it was a long process, because I had to start from scratch. I'd never done any racing. Of course, you interview drivers and you listen to what they say and you watch all the analysis, but it's very different when you actually get in a car and have to try and do it for yourself. And it was a journey I absolutely loved. Really great fun. Big thank you to everyone involved, especially my very patient instructor, Andy Wallace. And thanks to the rain, because it didn't stop for the entire time. Every time I got in a car, the heavens would open. You'd think that would make me a good driver in the wet, wouldn't you? Not quite what happened. Here you go.
Welcome to Alton Park. I've been seeing the best drivers in the world throw a car around a track, and I wanted to have a go. This is going to be my car for a race in July here in the Radical SR1 Cup. It's a track day here at Alton Park, so there are going to be other cars around, but I'm going to get to go out in this and 1, see what this has got, 2, see what this track's like. I've never driven around here. I've watched other people race here, and 3, see if I can do it.
Generally, don't worry too much about which gear you're in, because that's going to change. But when you turn into some of the corners, especially the quicker ones, you just need to turn in a little bit slower. Okay. Because you're turning in at the right place, but because it's too much, you're getting to the inside too early. No problem at all there with what happened. All it is just a little bit too much speed in. And because of that, you get out wide onto the dirt, and then the car will spin around.
This is homework.
If you charge into here really fast, it's tempting to turn in too early, but the same rules apply however fast you go. This is the apex, so you've got to delay the turn in just enough so that that's where you go. Every time I give you a thumbs up, it looks like I'm saying upshift, so when I give you a thumbs up, you upshift, so I stop giving you the thumbs up.
I didn't know you were doing thumbs up. I didn't even see it. I just saw a finger and I thought, oh, up.
That was time you did it really well, so I give you 2 thumbs up.
And then I did it really
I don't know how we got around the hairpin, but we did, so that was fantastic. We just broke really late, and I thought, oh, we're going down the escape road, and somehow I should get sit round there.
I'm going to get around that corner. If it's the last thing I do, I'm going to make it.
But you know what, we didn't lose anything, because just after you turned in, you nailed the gas, and we were off like a robber's dog.
Well, today I'm at Cadwell Park for some more time in the car, and unfortunately it's miserable. It's been chucking it down since we got here. The track's really wet. We just went out and did some sighting laps, and it is really wet, and there is actually standing water, so I'm a bit nervous today. going around here just then, I was like, yeah, I prefer Alton Park. But that's because this is wet. It's probably brilliant fun in the dry.
It's one of the most difficult circuits, I think, just because there's so many corners and it's so narrow and you don't get a clue because you can't see.
Yeah.
I think you're doing absolutely fine. What's really nice is watching you're driving around and then you think, I'm not satisfied with that last lap, I want to go faster. And you get to the next corner and you push more and more and more and more. But you're on the right line. So when you push more, there's no danger. So that's why I keep banging on about the lines. That's just paying off now. It's really good. Well, I have to say, that last run was a massive step forward. Really, really good. And I could feel from the passenger seat that you're really enjoying yourself. And you're pushing the envelope on the slower corners, pushing and pushing and pushing. But already, that last session, I just couldn't believe how much more time we found. It was brilliant.
I'll give you one lap of instruction and then we'll start the test. Right, that lap was good. That's good enough to pass the test. So how do you think you got on?
It wasn't very good because the heavens opened.
You were confident, you were calm, so you passed.
Yay!
Well done.
This is it, it's race day, we've got qualifying in a minute and it's raining again. I've had a lot of wet weather while I've been trying to test and practice for this. So I went to Bedford Autodrome a couple of weeks ago and I spoke to Valtteri Bottas about driving in the wet and got a few laps with him too.
You start in the wet just to build up the confidence, it's another level. I think it's mainly because if you lose the grip in the wet, it's much more sudden, so it's difficult to really trust the car, slide the car.
That was incredible. For a wet, greasy, horrible day on this track, it's incredible how much speed they find. It just shows you that you can go so much faster than you think you can and still be in control. That was brilliant. I absolutely loved it. But how do you get that confidence in the wet?
So once you can go smoothly on power without having to lift again or pumping the throttle, then that's a good point.
July in England in the summer, it's bound to be raining.
All what happens now is you're going into a qualifying session that you've never experienced before. You get the nerves that come with it, and I know you were very nervous.
I've got one question for you though.
Yeah.
Do you reckon you'll fit in this? Shall I stick my helmet on? You fit in
Oh
this?
yeah, I will fit in anything. Rachel Brookes, yeah. How are you feeling for the race today?
A little bit nervous, but it's cleared up a little bit. The track looks drier, so I just have to go a bit quicker. The car in front stalled at the start, and my only option was to put two wheels on the grass and then fight my way back into it, with my first ever overtake. But the rain didn't let up, and others were getting caught out by not just the wet, but now by oil on track too. As the race drew to a close, I was defending hard. Too hard.
Did you see that?
I was watching, darling.
I spun out of the last corner right before the second flag.
No, I didn't.
He did a complete 360, ended up facing the right way.
Yes.
I put the clutch down, so I started it up again. I came around the corner and they're waving the checkered flag. I was like...
Didn't lose position.
I think I was being lapped anyway.
Oh, yeah, but that doesn't matter. That's
But no, didn't lose position.
How was it?
And my brother went off. And I was gutted. I even slowed down and went, oh no, go. I wanted to see if he was all right.
I'm tweeting here. Done.
Oh.
P11.
Was it P11?
Well, it was P11 before the spin.
No.
So I hope there wasn't a loss.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
The rain returned for my second race, and after a decent start, I made my move again, trying to break into the top 10. Only for more last lap heartbreak as the car started misfiring. I had no idea what was wrong. No idea. It was on the last lap as well because I realised I had to pull into the pits here and I could see the checkered flag and I didn't make it.
There's all different degrees of wet, so each time we went out it was a different wet. Then when it was dry you could see the grin on their face again and starting to learn where the limits of the car were. Sat on your sofa with a cup of tea with your feet up watching the TV, you could trick yourself into thinking it's not that difficult, but it really is.
Well, I hope hope you enjoyed that. It was a brilliant experience and I would love to do some racing again. Big thank you to everyone involved and, as I said before, to my instructor Andy Wallace, and a big congratulations to Andy because last year in September he set the fastest recorded speed in a hypercar. He went at 304.77 miles an hour in a modified Bugatti. So Andy, congratulations, you're back in the record books again. Well done, and thank you again for all your help during my journey from reporter to kind of racer. Right, my second piece now. This was back in 2014 and we were filming a city guide in Singapore. And I had a wonderful producer on this called Yemi, who we worked in collaboration on where we wanted to go, the kind of look we wanted, everything really to do with it. And I loved the piece that came out in the end. A couple of things to notice in this. One, we had to shoot it over 2 nights. Singapore's very hot and very sticky, especially in the evening. So I had to put the same dress back on the second night. I also had to try and do my hair the same. Just some of the things that go on with these pieces. And the second bit is when you see the bit where I'm talking and I'm in the swimming pool, you have to imagine just out of shot here. So if you're looking at me here on my left side, my producer Yemi was balancing on a pontoon that went across the pool, across the surface of the water, holding a boom mic out as far as he possibly could so that the microphone would pick up my words, but trying at the same time to stay out of shot. And he was wobbling the whole way through it. So I'm trying to keep a straight face as I deliver the line. But yeah, hats off to Yemi for his work on this piece. This is Singapore, my city guide from 2014.
It may be a business epicentre, there might be sophistication and luxury all around you, but this place is all about the night time. Welcome to Singapore. First stop is the stunning Marina Bay Sands Hotel with its impressive structure extending far and wide over the city, making it hard to miss in Singapore's skyline. A room here will cost you a small king's ransom, but I've got the key to this incredible presidential suite, big enough for you and 30 of your closest mates. There is another way you can get to stay here. Just spend $5 million in the casino downstairs and you get this suite for free. And if you do stay at the hotel, you get free access to this infinity pool, 57 stories up, and with temperatures over 30 degrees at night, surely it's the coolest place to spend the race weekend. Well, if the Marina Bay Sands is all booked out, you'll find the rest of the high rollers here at one altitude. And there's a very good reason for that. Not only is it the highest point in Singapore, you can also see 70% of the racetrack from here at the Stella Bar. Cheers. Everything about Singapore is spectacular, but not everything costs. It took 3 years and 100 technicians to develop, but this Marina Bay laser show is free. Just pop down and pick your spot.
We're beautiful like diamonds in the sky. Shine bright like a diamond. Shine bright like a diamond.
There's a reason this is a night race. Even the street lights are incredible, but the sensory overload doesn't stop there. For your taste buds, there's only one place to come. It's here at Satay Street to try some of the local street food. The address is 1 Beach Road, Singapore. The place is Raffles Hotel.
Come on, y'all. Let's go downtown. Come on, y'all. Let's groove. Hey, hey, hey. From Monday to Thursday, I'm dead on my feet. Most of the time, too tired to eat.
Here in the Long Bar is where the Singapore sling was invented. Cheers, Randolph.
Well, I hope that gave you a bit of a look around Singapore. Really loved doing it. David Beckham got to stay in that hotel not long after I'd left that room. Very, very jealous. It was an incredible suite. Not sure about my moves to the karaoke, but I don't think we need to repeat that. Anyway, it was great fun, and I hope you enjoy seeing the city guide pieces. It gives us a chance, so we get to fly a day early when we film them, and we get a chance to actually look around some cities that we wouldn't ordinarily see. A lot of the time when you go to a race, it's airport, hotel, track, hotel, track, hotel, track, hotel, home. So it's great fun to do those and get to see a bit more of the places we go to. My third piece is Mexico, when I went to visit Sergio Perez at home with his family. Now, to give you a bit of background to this, I was trying to think of something different to do with a driver for a piece for Sky F1, because a lot of the time the teams will come up with a sponsor event, so you can go along and everyone, all the different TV crews are getting the same shot, they're getting the same kind of content, and I wanted to really see what a driver's like away from the track. So I sat down with Sergio's manager, press guy, in Abu Dhabi the year before, so this would have been in Abu Dhabi 2017, and we sat down and had a conversation, and I said, look, what would he like to do? What does Sergio like to do? Does he like to play football? Does he like to cook? What does he like to do? And he said he loves Mexico. He loves his home country. He loves showing it off. He loves telling people how wonderful it is. He is passionate about Mexico. So I said, okay, we'll come to Mexico, if that's all right with him. So from that conversation in November in 2017, it took 9 months until August in 2018 when we actually went to film it, of going backwards and forwards, talking to Checo, seeing what he was happy to do, what he was happy for us to film, talking to his wife, making sure she was happy with it all because she was going to be involved as well, and that they're happy for their baby to be in it, and also what they wanted to get out of the piece. What did they want to show off about Mexico? So all those conversations and all the planning and the logistics eventually came together in August in 2018 when myself and my cameraman and my producer Jack flew down to Puerto de Vallarta in Mexico for a day with Sergio Perez.
It's not often that a Formula One driver invites you to spend time with them when they're off duty, but I've come here to Mexico to do just that. Is this very traditional?
Very traditional, yeah. Tacos with shrimp, the grilled shrimps. You can just have this in Mexico.
Do you miss Mexican food when you're away?
To be honest, I got used to it. I don't think about it, but when I think or when I see pictures of the food, I miss it. It's very unique with the food in Mexico.
Which one are you going to have? Are you going to have some frozen yogurt?
Yeah, I go for yogurt. I put coconuts.
Yeah.
And rompope. It's like tequila, a little bit. But
It's
not
like
kind
tequila?
Of. No. It tastes a bit like.
Okay, but it's
quite.
not alcoholic?
No. So there we put chocolate, just a little bit of chocolate.
Why do you come back here? Loads of the drivers have nice apartments in Monaco. Why do you come back home? Why is it so special?
Yeah, first of all, thanks for coming to see my country. And for me, it's very special, you know, because the way I see it is I have my work life, which is Formula One, you know, but I also have a personal side, which is quite far apart from Formula One. And here it's where I grew up, you know, coming here to these beaches, to these places, and I just like to spend a good time quality time with my family here.
Does it help you switch off? Because when you're in that Formula One bubble, the pressure's immense, isn't it?
It does. When I'm here, it really switch off. I mean, you saw the day that we just had, you know. We do some training and then afterwards have a little ice cream, walk around, and it's just a beautiful place. I feel that Mexico is one of the best countries in the world to live, to invest, to grow up. You know, I just love so much the seas, the mountains, the food, the culture. We have so much things to offer in Mexico.
It's been a really tough year for Mexico since last year's devastating earthquake. But earlier this year, Sergio Perez's foundation handed over the keys to 34 new homes to those made homeless by the quake.
With the earthquake, we got to raise so much money to help our country, and not long ago we just gave the houses to the family that basically lost everything, and we are keeping we keep a close loop on them to try to keep raising good money. I feel it as an obligation, really, you know, to give back. I've been so lucky in my life in general that you gotta give back, you know, and it's something that makes me feel extremely proud. You know, when I see the work that the foundation has done, I want to keep it going forever.
Some people might suggest you'd be an ideal candidate to go into politics.
I don't like politics, so that will not be the best job for me. I love my country, you know. I want to try and help, try to help the sport, one way or another be involved in helping the country, you know. But politics, especially in Mexico or anywhere in the world, is not the right job for me.
I'm guessing training's not your favourite bit of this job.
No, it's not my favorite. So you'll see why later.
I'll find out. Oh, great.
This part is quite important, together with the neck.
Right,
It's all
under a lot of
connected.
strain on the long corners
Exactly.
and stuff. Okay.
Yeah. They're not that heavy, this one.
Okay, yeah, I believe you.
Try to go up faster and slower down.
They're quite heavy. That's like a side plank, but a really hard one.
Yeah, I really
okay. Like that. Yeah. Oh my God, this is really hard. Wow, have a look at this.
This is my little place where I really get to enjoy myself a bit.
You can see for miles here. You cannot think about Formula One up here. There is just...
That's the last thing you think about, no? Yeah. Formula One. And it's nice to have a place like this, you know, because I really get to go away from the sport, from the routine, from the job. This is little Chiquito and Carola.
How are you doing? Now, you need to tell me honestly, Carola, does he ever change any nappies?
No.
No. I don't think she understands well English.
I know. No, he doesn't. He doesn't.
He's shy with cameras. He doesn't like. She's like the mom.
He loves mom.
And what a change in the last 2 years.
Yes, a lot.
Big change.
Yeah, big change, but we're very happy. Yeah.
And is he going to be a racing driver?
Oh, let's see. Let's see.
Maybe you're seeing the next Mexican Formula One driver.
I just saw a couple of pictures here and from your wedding day, and you got married in Guadalajara.
In Guadalajara, yes. This is from Madrid when we were living there. The European season, we spent some time there.
He's going to be a very well-travelled little boy, isn't he?
He has traveled already quite a lot. He behaves well. He likes traveling.
What's been the biggest difference being a dad?
I travel so much that I don't get to see him a lot, you know. So when I go away 2 weeks, I come back and the baby is a lot bigger, you know, and that's the hardest bit.
Does it change your priorities or your thoughts of your career at all now?
My priorities on my career are the same. The competitiveness is the same, and as racing drivers, we are not normal people. So when you are there in the car, when you close your visor, you don't think about your family or your babies. You just have to be the guy next to you, and if that means that you don't have to lift, you don't lift.
How does someone growing up in Guadalajara, one, discover motorsport, but two, actually know enough or want it enough to move to Europe and leave everybody behind? You talked about when you first arrived, you were very lonely.
Yeah, I don't know what I was thinking, to be honest, but it's just your passion, you know. You're 15-year-old. I have the support from my family to go into Europe. That's it, you know. I remember I went to Europe with a single-way flight. I never knew when I was coming back, every race was critical, you know, because if I don't do well, then I don't have the sponsorship for the next one and so on. So I remember every time I was going to the airport and saying goodbye to my family, we were all crying, you know, like if someone died, you know, and I was just going to Europe to race, and that kind of thing that I think back and, well, is everything worth it? I mean, it's everything worth, and it is, you know, because then you achieve your dreams, you get to meet and race incredible drivers, but it's a lot of sacrifice as well.
What do you think when you look out at that view?
Well, it's incredible. It makes me feel how privileged I am, you know, to first of all have the opportunity to have this view. I'm happy that I'm able to share it with all of you, because it's incredible, you know. Every time I come here and see this amazing view, it makes me feel very privileged and fortunate.
What a place to have a home, hey? It was really, really lovely to go down somewhere I'd never been in, Mexico, to start with, but just to spend some time with Sergio and his family. We arrived on, I think it was the Tuesday, and I wrote up what I wanted to do with the interview and the pieces. My producer and my cameraman went out and they went to film some shots just around the city, around the area, to get some what we call colour, to give you a feel for the place when you actually see the final piece. And then on the Wednesday morning we met Checo, went to his gym to do the workout. He took us for lunch to one of his favourite places, as you saw, took us for ice cream. We did the interview in his apartment on the balcony. You saw that incredible backdrop. And then we went down to the beach and sat and did the second interview there. And over the course of the day, I think we finished filming at 7:30 at night. He was brilliant, gave us so much of his time, gave us his entire day until late in the day. His wife as well and his little baby, they were so generous with their time, and it was really lovely, really enjoyed it. Hope you enjoyed the piece, and fingers crossed, have some more similar pieces coming for you. And fingers crossed they happen, they are in the pipeline, and hopefully we'll be able to bring them to you at some point too. And now my final piece. This was Formula Radio from last year. It was Hungary. I remember it was a really hot day and there were lots of shoots going on. So we had camera crews all over the place. Johnny was off at the water park filming something and driver interviews were going on and it was really busy. But Charles Leclerc and Sebastian Vettel had said yes to taking part in Formula Radio, which they don't always take part in all the games. The reason we do the games, so a lot of people say, why don't you just do an interview if you've got time with those two? Is because if you do an interview, you get a lot of the same things you've had before. You'll get the same sort of answers, especially at a racetrack. Drivers, when they walk through the turnstiles, often just switch on the racing brain and that's it. They will give you those answers that they want to give you that weekend. So by doing something different, you get to see their competitive side. You get to see the two drivers interact with each other a lot more than you would ordinarily, and also have a bit of fun. And that's what we want them to do. We want them to have fun with it. And boy, did these two have fun. Have a watch.
Welcome back to the F1 show, and as you can see, we are down here in the paddock with Sebastian Vettel and Charles Leclerc, who are trying to sabotage each other already for this week's Formula Radio, Crofty.
Because this is the big one, isn't it?
What do you call it?
Formula Radio.
I knew you'd
It's
go.
the world's worst title for the world's best competition between Formula One drivers. And week by week, we've been playing this game past your motorhome, hoping you'd come and join us, gents. So thank you very much.
Yeah. So who is the... Who left with the strongest impression so far?
Well, so a driver, one of you will win each week and then you'll come back and play around towards the end of the season.
Tell us your average week, because people think like Formula One driving just happens on a Sunday. It's not a full-time job. How busy do you get during the course of a week?
You want to start?
Yeah. Well, I try to go to the gym the morning, 10 to 11:30 maybe the morning, and then beach the afternoon.
So you don't? You just turn up at the racetrack?
Exactly.
Tell us you work harder than that.
Yeah, so what did you say? When did you get up?
9:30 to go to the gym at 10.
And then he's
so
back.
No breakfast?
No breakfast.
No.
Well,
I wake
lunch
up
by the
like
beach.
between 7 and 7:30 and then breakfast. I got kids as well, you know, there's some stuff to do.
So you sort the kids out?
Do you do the school run?
Not yet, they're not in school yet. But yeah, mostly, most of the time I do the morning with training, but some of the afternoons as well, then depending in the season it's a bit busier. And then, yeah, you know, organize some stuff, looking at some stuff together with the engineers. There's always something to do. It's not like I don't
You're not
have
on the
that much
beach
time.
like
no, no.
This
Yeah,
is the
I'm
way
doing
forward.
something wrong.
Exactly. Have you finished that
We
motorbike?
speak after.
Yeah.
Have you
No,
finished that
not
motorbike
yet.
No?
See? No,
How
I don't.
many years have you been trying to
Yeah,
fix and put
can
that?
we mention? Can you cut this? And
No, it's all live.
Are you doing it from a manual, or are you trying to do it by learning as you go?
I need the manual. It was very easy stripping it. Now I got all the bits, but yeah, now it's back in boxes because I need the space, and then one day I take it
What
out
are
of
you
the boxes
talking
again.
about? Sorry, I was...
I'm
So, Seb-
restoring my, like, you wouldn't even know what that is.
A bike.
Really old motorbike.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
a moped. You know, like, did you say go-ped in English with the
No.
pedals?
Yeah, something like that.
Ah,
Like
yeah.
the very first, when I was 15, that's what I drove. I know you
Okay.
were already on a yacht in Monaco at the beach and
No,
everything.
no,
He
I
wasn't
was
alive,
out
Seb. I hate to tell you, probably.
Probably as
He's
well.
been restoring this for the last 10 years?
No.
20?
What is it now? 2019? 5?
5 years.
5 years.
Yeah, I know.
I know,
But
right?
Yeah. But I spend most of the time putting it in boxes, putting it to the side. Then, oh yeah, I want to do some stuff. Take it out of the boxes.
Are you always getting told to tidy it up as well?
I like tidy up. Seriously,
like
I don't like.
tidying up?
I don't like when.
Oh, you are
looks
such
like
a
a mess.
keeper, Sebastian Vettel. Do you realise how many women are watching this now thinking, I wish he was my husband?
No,
he
but
likes
seriously,
tidying up.
I don't. I like in the. Like in my Werkstatt. Yeah, like shed, like a
Man cave?
working station, and
Okay.
yeah, that man cave, whatever you. It has to be tidy.
So you slalom down, okay? So around the cones on the way down, straight back. So you go
Yeah,
around
but
the
hang
cones
on.
on the way back, down.
Yeah, I start from there then.
He's already working out his
Wait,
tactics
wait.
here, folks. Right, okay, so careful. I am the steward here. Crofty is going to commentate on this. He's gone down there.
Yes, I'm keeping people out
So
of the way.
around the cones on the way
This is the
down.
finish line,
This
bit.
is the finish line, straight back. And I am the steward, so I'd just be careful on
Taking
this one.
seriously this.
Very seriously.
Are you good in this?
What?
Are you good in this?
Yeah.
He looks a little worried, I have to say. Right, okay, on my count, 3, 2, 1, go.
Right, Seb's in the red, Charles is in the blue, and so far, so good around the cones. And it's a dash down. This is very close indeed. Charles Leclerc wins. Seb nearly took out Rachel.
That's it.
That's
Well, we
1-0 to Charlotte. It's best of 3, Seb. You have a chance
Ah,
here
okay.
to pull this back.
Hang on a minute. Can we have an action replay of Rachel trying to get out of the way? Because
The second time he's tried to hit me since
Just
he got
come
it.
here, seriously, because you took risks standing there, you know.
seriously,
Okay.
Rachel, how does it go? Yeah.
But she did it.
I did it. His
Not-
car's intact. He has a chance in this second race.
Come,
I'm coming back.
I've
I'll
been
stand
quick
behind
in
That
you.
was
Yeah,
impressive.
but just at the end, I would recommend you.
Getting out of the way. Right.
Be careful.
Are we ready?
Wait.
Hang on a minute.
I've got somebody in
How
the way.
wide are you going to go, Charles?
Well, no, to be fair, he was in the way, and he's still in the way. And he's still complaining, but we'll
Right.
get on with it.
Okay, 3, 2, 1, go.
Another good start by Sebastian and Charles. Level pegging. And Seb's caught. Charles going to take this one.
Seb's gone to the track somewhere.
I got my. That's not fair.
Can I just... Whoa, that
Again.
was pretty impressive. Can I just
Let's do
say...
it again.
I have to actually say, there was a jump start from this side in that race.
No, come on. No.
There
That,
was the tiniest jump start, I'm afraid, Charles. So it is 1 apiece. This is the decider. Are you ready?
Hang on,
Hang
Rachel. News from the Ferrari mechanics. David, I don't know what David does, the mechanic, he's okay, but he's now limping because Seb crashed into him.
okay.
Matteo Bonotto
His
says,
fault.
can you
His
please
fault.
leave the team intact?
Right, Cross,
Just
you
at
ready?
the end.
I will go. I'm going.
One apiece.
Okay, this is the decider. Charles, don't jump start.
No.
Okay, are you ready?
Of course.
3, 2, 1, go.
Brilliant
Clean
start
start.
from both once again. This is the best standard we have ever had. It's neck and neck all the way back. Charles Leclerc.
Leclerc takes it. That. Oh,
You wanna do another one,
and we've
just
got
for
a little
fun?
bit of handbags post-race here. We've got a little bit of handbags going on, Crofty.
You're not driving for Haas, you're driving for Ferrari, so leave your
Let's do
teammate
another one
alone.
just for fun.
Seb wants one more just for fun.
One
Charles
more.
has declared the winner, but if you've got
This is
time,
what
then we will
happens,
do
Charles,
this.
you see. If you beat him, he wants to keep going
Do you
until he
brake
beats
at
you.
the hairpin?
I was quick. What?
Do you brake at the hairpin?
Of course I do. To
I
rotate.
didn't. I didn't.
To
Yeah.
rotate the car.
Do you want to swap cars and see
No,
if he's
no.
got the quicker car? Are you happy? You're happy?
I have the red car. How can I say I've got the slower car?
Okay, you ready? 3, 2, 1, go!
No, this one just for fun, so Seb clatters the cone.
Yeah, but look, on the way back, you don't do the slalom.
No, you don't. You come straight back. I did tell you that.
No, you didn't.
I did tell you that. You came back
that
straight on the other races.
Nothing counts, because I always done the slalom on the way back.
Does anybody want to turn it over for him and send it back?
Rachel Brookes, Sebastian Vettel and Charles Leclerc, I think we have proved here this afternoon that youth can occasionally triumph over experience.
I didn't listen.
And the obsessively tidy Sebastian Vettel needs to go and tidy that cone up before it's too late.
Is that your excuse to the stewards? Do you say I didn't listen?
No, but seriously, did you
Are we
say
doing
that?
it again?
I did, yeah.
You said slalom all the way there and nothing back.
Of course we're going to do it again
I
because
thought
he wants
straight
to
back
win.
with the slalom.
Beautiful.
We'll carry on here until Seb
Do
wins.
another one. I always did the slalom on the way back as well.
No.
Wasn't it best of 9? Is that what he just said?
Seriously,
Okay, apparently I'm allowed to give you an all or nothing. Would you like to take an all or nothing?
But
no.
All or
because he's already won.
No,
Of course not.
Put the cone in the...
He's going to go do it. See, he's obsessively tidy, so he wants to do it himself.
This is a great insight. Right,
Is
okay.
he always like this?
No.
No.
This is all or nothing then.
But we're racing drivers. We want to beat each other at anything.
I love
Okay.
this.
All right, you have an all or nothing chance.
Shall we do
Don't blow
slalom
it.
on the way back?
Do you want to? No. Straight back.
No, don't.
Straight back.
That's the hard bit, because it comes towards you and you need to do the opposite thing.
You up for
Yeah,
it?
but that's not all or nothing. I won.
Okay, you won anyway.
Okay, right, all or nothing. You go slalom down, come back however you like,
Okay.
but it is quicker
Be
if you come
careful,
back
guys.
straight.
You'll
3, 2, 1, go.
I'm loving the competitive nature of this, Rachel. This is brilliant. Oh look, he's not gone round
missed
the
the
cone.
cone.
though.
Didn't
It's
go
gone
round. There's a penalty
That's
for
not
missing the
slalom on the
cone,
way
Seb.
back.
There's a penalty for
Yeah,
missing
no,
the
I
cone,
didn't do the
Seb.
cone.
What time's your meeting later? Because you.
And you see how much faster I was.
Let's go again, but do the slalom on the way back.
So-
3,
so-
Let's do the slalom on the way back.
3,
Let's
2,
ignore
3, 2, 1, go.
Take 5.
I love this. We've brought the paddock to a standstill. Seb's trying to get his mechanic, and still Charles wins. Whatever rules Sebastian Vettel comes up with, Charles Leclerc still beats him.
Don't break my feet.
Seb, you know, sometimes in life, you just got to quit while you're ahead. And I think...
What, like
it's
don't compete at all, because I lost all of them.
Exactly. It's not got any better from the first race.
Let's do another one. Let's ignore these guys. I'm monster competitive on this. You can't...
Wait. Are we doing the slalom on the way back?
No, let's do one without and then the last one with.
Okay, let's go. 3, 2, 1,
go.
Well, I thought we'd go out for a curry
Come
later.
on,
We might not
no.
actually get there. Who won that time?
Seb won.
Shite.
Seb won that time. Right, gentlemen.
Is this the last one?
Right, now, are we doing one more still?
But I don't have battery anymore.
Come on, of course you have.
Okay, right, last one. Are you slaloming back, Seb? Yes or no?
Yeah, let's slalom back.
Yes, slalom back. Okay. Crofty, you ready to commentate?
Yes, 3, 2, 1. Right, more farewell tours than status quo, this one, so far. And I do think, eventually, persistence has paid off. And Sebastian Vettel, ladies and gentlemen, has won.
I want more.
I'm happy.
Right.
I love this game.
It is a very good game.
You should skip the interviews after the race and we should just do
Just
this
come and do
instead.
this. Decide it like this, right?
Gents, I've got an idea. Seb, that's yours. Charles, that's yours. Take it to the beach, take it to your man cave.
No,
Thank you very much.
Practice ahead.
Is that a
you
gift?
It's a gift from
Don't
us at
ask.
Sky
Yeah,
Sports
if somebody
F1.
gives you a gift, don't ever ask.
Take the cars and go, because we want to go out tonight. and We'll be
We've
here
got
all
dinner
night.
plans.
Okay.
We got
Well
a free
done.
camera as well, look.
Yeah, free camera for everything. Gentlemen,
Well,
thank you so
engineer.
much.
Thank you very much for playing, guys. Well done.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, I hope you enjoyed that. I mean, it was so much fun, and genuinely, Crofty and I kept trying to stop it and say, that's it, okay, it's all over. And they kept going, and they kept going, and Sebastian wanted another race, and then another race, and then another race. And the paddock came to a complete standstill. There were people all around us watching what was going on. And in the end, we did genuinely just have to give them the cars so that they would stop and we could get our cameras and go off. I think we had a Welcome to the Weekend to do, and that was live. So in the end, yes, we gave them the cars and they went off into the motorhome, and Sebastian even took cones with him as well so they could set up a track. It was brilliant fun. It was really nice to see that side of the two of them as well. So I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you've enjoyed this At Home with Sky F1, and there'll be another one very soon, and hopefully we'll be coming to you from a racetrack somewhere soon too. Stay well, stay safe.